Let's take a look at dashboards in Bio. Bio's powerful business intelligence platform works out of the box with multiple viewers. Today, we're going to use Bio with Tableau. Tableau's advanced visualizations are particularly suited for dashboarding and deeper dive analyses. In this example, we'll examine a dashboard created to present a total picture of sales results, trends, correlations, and anomalies at a glance. We'll deconstruct the dashboard so you can see the separate integrated views and how each one can be used for in-depth analysis. In this dashboard, a user can stay current on and analyze sales or revenue in any particular period, and the gross margin percentage or profitability of sales, by product category or individual product, by geographic region at any level, and by customer segment or even individual customer. Okay, let's open Bio and get started. Here is our dashboard. Notice there is a lot of complex information here. To the experienced user, there is a wealth of intelligence presented in these panes or views of integrated data. These views are completely interactive. You can opt to look at more detailed data, or filter on a particular, say, customer segment, or even aggregate data like sales regions right on this dashboard. And as I said, the data is integrated. So if the data in one pane is changed to reflect a selected area of interest, the data in the other panes will reflect the same selection. Now we're going to see how these views may have been developed and what they can tell us. For this analysis, we'd like to look at sales, and we're also interested in gross margin percentage. And we'd also like to understand the relationship between different customer types and different products for selling. Now that's a lot of information on one screen, and if we looked at it in tabular form, it would be almost impossible to derive any kind of story from that data. So we're going to build up a visualization that lets us make sense of this data. The first thing we said we want to look at is sales. So I'm going to pull a sales number out and place it onto the screen. Next, we'd like to add product category. Over here under products, there's a group for product category, and I'm going to move that into the column list too. And I've decided sales would be better as rows, so I'll just move sales down into the row list. So now we see a basic bar chart showing sales by product category. Let's make it a bit more interesting. Let's add gross margin percent, and let's use color to depict the percentage value. So now we see not only sales, but we also see the gross margin percentage depicted by color. Let's add even more information. We'll add the region that we're selling into, which is a function of customer, and we'll position the regions as rows. At this point, I think this information would be more readable as a line graph, so let's make that change. Now we're starting to see some trending. We can take it one step further by adding customer segment or type of customer. There must be an anomaly here that gives me a gross margin of -84. Let's change the gross margin percentage scale and representative colors to be more meaningful. Our normal range is from about 0 to 30%. So we'll start with 0 and end at 0.30. And I'd like to go red to green because that's kind of an obvious color representation. Now it's a lot easier to see what's happening. Look here at furniture sales to the small business segment. We see great margins, increasing sales, and all of a sudden we hit a wall and now we're back down to lower margins and lower sales. There's something wrong here. So we can keep looking. We can now drill down into different areas. For instance, the lines for consumer show poor margins. So let's look there. We can drill into territories or down another level into states. Notice we're currently looking at all products broken down by furniture, office products, and technology. Let's add a filter that allows us to focus on just furniture. I believe there's a relationship between chairs and tables. So let me open up this list of products, and now I can deselect everything and add in different product groupings or even individual products. So let's add in tables and chairs, and I'll add back a column for the furniture group. And now we are seeing all furniture compared to tables and chairs. And the dot just means there was only one sale in that territory in the third quarter, and you can hover over that point to see some of the metrics related to that individual sale. Now that's one way of making sense of the data. Remember, we're looking at millions of data points, and you need to be able to see a story in the data. Let's look at another view that could be one of those panes in a dashboard. We're interested in learning how the sales dollar amount impacts the relationship between sales and gross margin by customer type or product category. Do larger sales mean more profit? We're going to use a scattergram to get the answer to our question. If I start with aggregate gross margin on the columns and sales on the rows, I'll get a single point. There are $14 million in sales at an average gross margin of 10%. Now that doesn't tell us too much, so let's add some more detail. Let's break out total sales into product category. We'll use color to do that. Now we have 3 points, one for each product category. We can see that technology has the highest margin and the highest aggregate dollar amount. But we're still not seeing any trends or outliers that can help us understand the margins over increasing sales size. Let's add customer segment into the data, and we'll use shape to designate the segment. We can dive a little deeper into product category. Let's add a point for each subcategory. Now we're starting to see a bit more data. Notice that we have these outliers. Ouch! Gross margin minus 20%. And we really should be concerned about these large sales at negative margins. A $660,000 sale at a minus 4% margin. That's not good. Let's add the region that it's coming from. So now we have lots of data, but it's all concentrated due to this extreme outlier that's throwing off the scale. For now, we'll just exclude this data point so we can get a better picture of the data. Okay, to make this easier to digest, let's add trend lines. Now we can see how each of the margins for each of our product lines reacts to higher dollar sales. For technology, in green, the larger the sale, the better the margin. That's good news. But for furniture, the margins go down as the size of the sale goes up. We can also see that the margins for office supplies also increase as the size of the sale increases, but not as much as for the technology sales. But these large negative margins for high dollar sales are alarming. We need to do a little more research to find out what's going on. So let's lasso the offending data points and create a set. We'll call it high dollar negative margins. Now, I want to go back to those data points and do some analysis. We can go to a new worksheet and simply drag in the set. So now let's drill into the actual data points that make up this set to see where those negative numbers are coming from. We can see instantly all of the detailed information about each one of these sales. The customer, the salesperson, the loss on each sale. So that was one way of looking at anomalies, establishing a trend and then looking more closely at the data going against the trend. And all of those different views we created can be assembled into a dashboard. We'll look at one more visualization that could be one of those panes on a dashboard. The mapping capability allows you to layer your data over demographic information as supplied by the U.S. Census. These little pie charts represent our sales by product category, and the background colors now represent the per capita income. And you can zoom into the maps to the state level or the zip code level or to even what is called the block level. Okay. You've seen some examples to give you ideas on how you can use Bio and Tableau to create rich dashboards that will keep you informed of the latest developments in your business.
Want to see more? Give us a call at 203-327-0800 or visit our website at bio4analytics.com.